What's up, everybody? This is Mugen_Ketsuki, and today we are going to review the official release of the Sniper 2 keyboard adapter. Apparently, it now works with PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, computer or PC, Android, and iOS phones. So that's quite the large compatibility list. If you guys tuned into my channel previously when I had reviewed the prototype of the Sniper 2, it was still in its early stages. It was quite interesting of how they done everything with the user interface, the AI, the RGB and everything, the customized controls with the keyboard and mouse to pinpoint exact accuracy for shooting games and other usage for different types of games on multiple systems that we did explore, which was the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and the Nintendo Switch 2. So today we'll be doing pretty much the same exact steps, but we're gonna look further into it, try to see if we can update the firmware since this is the official retail product instead of the prototype that I had reviewed, and see what other updates came with it. I'm very excited about this because it does change the dynamic of how you play games on console now. And if you was previously a PC person and then you started migrating over to console and you want to use the keyboard and mouse still, this has a very good practical use for it now. So with that being said, let's get into the video as we normally do, give it a good old review. And I like to have big shout outs to Brooks Gaming for sending over this product for review, and of course being a part of the Brooks Creators Club. Alright, we have a quick overview of the website here for the Sniper 2. Once again, this is the retail version of the actual product compared to what I was doing previously, which was a prototype. Showing basically similar features, showing that it's versatile, compatible with multiple consoles, showing that you're able to change everything from the app on the phone, or if you have it on your tablet, you can do mouse precision, keyboard mapping, you could do the macro features, you could change the RGB lighting to breathing, marquee, sparkle, or steady pulse for the colors. And again, we're about to get right into the firmware update of everything. And as I always make sure of, please always make sure you're on the latest firmware with any of Brook products that is available. And with that being said, we're gonna jump into the next slide, which will be the gameplay video. And hopefully you guys do enjoy these reviews as we keep cranking them in every time when we get sent the product to review. Alright, we're about to go over to the next slide now. And here we have the Brook Sniper app on my cell phone, which is basically showing the interface of what can be changed. You have mouse settings, you have keyboard settings, and you have gamepad settings. You can change everything from the access, from the speed of the mouse, of the precision, the mouse clicking. You could change the button scheme on the controller depending on what console you preferred. And right now we're looking at the PlayStation 5 section here, just to give you a quick overview of what can be changed or what can be tweaked on the actual mobile app. You can also log on and make a profile, export, import different configurations. You can also change and have macro features, so you can assign a button to do several things, but I didn't really get into it because that would have took a little bit of time. You can also change, like I said here, the RGB lighting. You can change the mode and the brightness of it, which I thought was pretty cool. And you can hit the information tab where you can update the firmware via Bluetooth using the mobile app. Alright, Now, the first thing that we do have here is the Xbox Series X. As you can see here, I have the controller plugged in. I have my Lenovo wired mouse, and I have my my Chroma keyboard. I believe it's from Razer. Not 100% sure. And the first game that we're gonna possibly try will be Gears of War Reloaded, since it's the easiest game to just jump right into. And I will have this disclaimer to say about this. The Lenovo mouse has been giving me a little bit of trouble when it came to moving around for the aiming or the camera portion control of this specific review. So if you see me struggling wiggling the Lenovo wired mouse back and forth, there's a reason for that. Apparently I found out later on, after my initial testings with the Sniper 2, I had to change some of the settings in the on the app for the Sniper 2 to make it more I guess you could say fluid. But for this slide and for the next slide, which I believe will be for the Nintendo Switch 2, it was a little bit of a frustrating time. Yes, I was still able to manage to play. I was still able to get things moving. Everything was working in terms of the keys. I was very responsive, so on and so forth. But thought I'd just give you guys that little heads up, because I don't want to have the wrong info being put out there saying like, oh, it's very sluggish, or it's very not responsive to, mouses, so on and so forth. So it's definitely a user error on that part. Alright, so here I'm just trying to figure out the controls that is key binded to the keyboard. I kind of left it as standard, where you have I think, what is it, WASD for the up, down, left, right controls. You have R for reload. I believe you have C to confirm, the space bar for, I think, jump for certain games, and just to like run or roll. You also have left shift, which allows you to like sprint or run, depending on the game of preference. And then if you hit the 1 key, it'll also confirm something, and the actual regular arrows, the up, down, left, right, also changes some of the loadout depending on the game that you're playing. Now again, here I'm looking on the Sniper 2 app on the right hand side. It's off screen, so you guys can't see it, but it's helping me remember the button scheme layout of how to work the keyboard bindings that's already by default. Again, it takes some time to get used to, but it's something that you can quickly adjust to make it to your own liking, with the macro and the custom button mapping feature. Okay, here I'm still trying to figure out a little bit of the controls, like the objective, so on and so forth. I think I had to hold the 1 key or the tab or something like that. I can't really remember. And then for my findings from the previous prototype review that I have done, it was working pretty much the same. It was already like very well, deep into development. They already had ironed out all the kinks and everything in the previous build. And I really didn't notice nothing too crazy, except for like the responsiveness was a little bit better. That I can admit. It was a lot more fluid compared to the previous iteration. Because again, we was in beta when we was using the app to be able to change things around and you know, get used to the keyboard and mouse um, peripheral usage for the actual the games that we're playing on the various systems here. You see here, I'm throwing some grenades, trying to see if I can kill them all in one shot. Obviously, I missed because I'm having a little bit of trouble with the wired mouse here, trying to get the aim down packed. But like I said, I do end up fixing it during the last gameplay testing on the PlayStation 5 side of things, so you guys will see that later on. Alright, I think here is when we make the initial switch to the Switch. And now, as you can see, we are playing Fortnite on the Switch 2. I wasn't able to find like a regular training map to give me like guns or whatever. It was kind of confusing as I really don't play Fortnite as often. So I'm just basically running around, just testing out the responsiveness of, you know, sprinting, using the WASD, up, down, left, right key bindings, and also just, you know, just trying to figure out what's what. There's not much of a gameplay recording on the Switch, which I do apologize for. It's just that it was very difficult at the time to get used to the mouse not being that responsive. As you can see here, it's working as intended. I'm not touching the controller. The Sniper 2 is registering the button inputs when you plug in the controller on the left hand side. Also, what I will recommend is that if you feel like that the Sniper 2 is not running in optimal settings, you might have to plug in an extra power source, which is also on the top side of the actual dongle, to actually make it more, you know, smoother, so we can have the voltage needed. Now here we have our other gameplay, which is basically the last gameplay of it before, you know, going up to the outro. I was playing Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 5. Now this is where things worked out a little bit more better, a little bit more fluid in the sense, because I did tweak a couple of settings in the Sniper 2 app. So I made it a little bit more smoother, nothing super crazy, even though they do recommend that you put the controller sensitivity to the highest that you can go to, whether if it's 100, you know, 16, 17, depending on the game. As you can see here, I'm just trying to play out the little puzzle scenario so I can get to the next area, so I can get to the save point. I'm trying to remember like all the puzzles. Is just nerve-wracking. Alright, we should be having a few dogs we gotta take out, unfortunately. And no, I do not promote animal cruelty, but you know, these kind of games make you live through the most craziest experiences possible, especially in the zombie apocalypse. Also, I would like to remind people that if a game is already natively able to take controller and keyboard, there's no need to have the Sniper 2 to be within the chain that's hooked up to any of the consoles. I would just recommend you natively plug them in if it natively supports the keyboard and mouse. This is for the case usage if they don't have a pre-setup so that you can use a keyboard and a mouse for said games. That's the reason why I am showing off the certain games that don't have it natively accessible. compared to something like if you play Call of Duty or Diablo 4 and probably maybe Final Fantasy 14, then yeah, you can definitely use those games with just like the regular mouse and keyboard, just plugging it directly into the console. Gotta turn on that light, Leon. There you go. Alright, and that's about to wrap up the PlayStation 5 portion of the gameplay testing. And then we'll round it out to the outro of this review. And again, shout outs to Brooks for sending over the Sniper 2 to me to review. And being a part of the Book Creators Club is nothing but, grateful news. Alright, and we made it to the end of the video. Of course, we had reviewed the Sniper 2, which is the keyboard adapter from Brooks Gaming. Again, it's multiply supported on multiple consoles and also cell phones as well. Very impressed what they did this time around, of course, with the mobile app, that you can actually update the firmware from the mobile phone instead of going onto your computer via Bluetooth. You also have the macros, the customized features. You get to import and export different profiles from either the computer or even download it from the web. And the fact that you have to set it up on the consoles a specific way, like we did in the previous video, where you have to enable the connections on the PlayStation 5 and the same thing on the Nintendo Switch 2. Not really on the Xbox side, as long as you use like official, the Pro controller from the Xbox, so on and so forth. So it just works by default. Besides that caveat, having to go the little extra layer of steps to actually get this product actually working and used, I can't really complain about it, because you can change the sensitivity, which they recommend you change it to 100% in-game first before you actually make the changes on the Brook, so then you can actually get the more or less closest feel to an actual mouse movement with like the supported hertz, and the same thing with the keyboard as well, so you can have like precise timing, like if you're playing Call of Duty or Gears of War, Fortnite, Battlefield, so on and so forth. So again, I really can't complain. It does exactly what the product has intended to do. And again, shout outs to Brooks for making everything so much easier when it comes to gaming. So as in all my videos, we'll have links up on one of these corners here representing my stuff, and then also representing Beast 1X5 with the products that he's also reviewing as well. I'm pretty sure he'll have his retail version of this out pretty soon. I don't think it's up as of yet, but it'll be something in one of the corners below of what his latest review was that he has done for the Brooks Creators Club and whatnot. So again, thank you guys for watching. My name is Mugen_Ketsuki, and I'll catch you on the next one.